All right, welcome to the Forge Coffee Break. This is the episode number 48. Yeah, 48. Thank you very much for joining today. So as usual, this is a very open space for any general topics or questions that you have. And I see that you have a few new names that I haven't seen in a while. So welcome. Thank you for joining. And let me start with you. If you have any questions or topics that you like to bring up, any projects that you are working with, any ideas that you want to discuss, just open your microphone and we're here. So we're quiet today. Nothing going on?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. Bowen?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Hi. Quick question. I saw that you guys released the little bit of code to load in the what's it called? The box selection tool, which is awesome, and we're super excited about it. When we load up the model within Docs, we can use that box selection tool, but when we open it in the model coordination viewer, there's some difference where it won't open, and I was just curious if you knew why that was.
So you did send. We did discuss that question. You sent that question to Chaodong, right?
I did. I don't know if I understood his answer.
Yeah. So the summary is that that extension. Sorry. Yeah, that part of that viewer is not using the same foundational viewer as you have in BIM 360. There are some changes, and that's where that extension is not available. So I think what he proposed to do was to ask the team why that's happening, but we don't have the confirmation yet. But
Okay.
the summary is that the viewer using in that specific feature, in that specific module of BIM 360, it's using a different one that is not where that extension is not available.
Okay. That's good to know. I guess that was the first time I learned that there were kind of two different types of viewers. Like
Well,
looking.
yeah, it's the same viewer, but the teams may change that a bit to adjust to their needs, right? So
Sure.
in that case, they have a different branch, if you say,
Hmm.
and so for instance, the viewer that you see in BIM 360, there's a lot of customization on top of that, right? So they keep reusing, they keep updating with the latest version of the viewer that you have as an API, but still there are some differences that are part of the product.
Okay.
Yes, I mean,
Is it
not ideal, but yeah.
Okay.
is
Good
it
to know.
possible that there's an older version of LMV that it works with, like version 7.30?
You mean model coordination, Michael?
Yeah,
That's the part that Xiaodong was checking why that was there. I don't have the answer right now. I would have to review his reply, but let me see if I can find out here because he was digging into it.
yeah. The box selection extension's been around for a long time, and so I'm
Hmm.
guessing it's maybe just a version delta that's the fork of LMV that just
Yeah, but the extension is not
declined.
working there as we expected, right? So that's why it's a bit strange. And I know that Xiaodong was taking care of it, but he didn't reply. Okay, yeah, so he did message the model coordination team, but we didn't have the reply yet. Yeah, I'll follow up with him. Yeah, sorry, Bowen. I think we didn't have the reply to you sooner, but I'll follow up with him.
No worries. Just
Yeah,
curious to see if there's anything I could do on my end, but thank you.
yeah. Thank you. I mean, in those cases, is usually understand what is the version they're using, and then find a way to work around that.
Got it.
I mean, one thing to
Thanks.
try is to try an earlier version of LMV. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's something to do in the meantime until the
Yeah, but
loaded.
still we have to. I think Bowen wants to load the extension in BIM 360, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The reason being is that using the box selection within model coordination would be just this huge blessing for clearing clashes, right? Because then you can
Yeah.
select a big window of clashes that can be marked as closed or anything like that instead of clicking them one by one or selecting them based off of their property elements and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
we were
no,
really excited for it.
The only way to, yeah, if you wanted to actually drop a version inside BIM 360, you'll have to do a resource redirect, and it's like a browser extension, and that tricks the browser into using a different file. And so you would tell the browser to load an earlier version of the BIM 360 fork or the model coordination fork of the viewer.
Okay.
So they have versions. When you click on the settings, you see that little version at the bottom right, and you'll see like 1.4 dot something. They've got a different numbering scheme.
Okay.
And so you could revert to an earlier version and then try it that way. But I think
That's very hacky.
that's all I can. Yeah, it's very hacky. It's all I can offer right now.
Yeah.
Sure. So just Google a resource redirect and then just tell it to load an older version of the LMV viewer.
Yeah, look for viewer3d.min.js, and there'll be a version before it, and you'll be looking at trying to find a number that's lower than that. It's going to be without knowing the numbers, you just have to kind of guess the numbers. They're all sequential, so it's just try one number and then try another number and go down the list.
So is it
it's super hacky, actually. The more I'm thinking about it, it's probably not worth it.
No, you're good. I looked at the viewer3d.js, I think, on the model coordination sign, and they had commented out a little note saying that they had disabled the box selection tool. Let me see if I can't find that. But it was interesting. Let me see. Come on. I'll look for it. But there was a part where they had like unloaded it, or they hadn't unloaded it, but they just disabled it. And so it was just part of the code.
You saw that in the code of the viewer for model coordination?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
there was one for it to not load for mobile devices, which I get, but there was another part. I'll look for it. Just give me a second. We can go to somebody else's question, and I'll send this over to you guys.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or topics? Just want to share something quite interesting that Izan did, I think it was last week. This, as we are talking about extensions, right? So he created this interesting one that lists all the rooms in the model, and it finds the center, I believe, and goes to that point. Let me play the video here. And as we're talking about extensions and maybe cool extensions, so we can speed up a bit. Yeah, so you select a room on the left, and it goes all the way to that room. So it helps you navigate large models. It's not using it's navigating through walls, but it's still quite interesting to play with. I'm not sure if you've seen this one. Okay, so interesting code, interesting blog post. Let me get back to you. Questions or topics? People are quiet today.
They didn't have their coffee. That might be.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, that may be it. Yeah.
So I can talk a bit about something as well.
Sure.
So
yeah.
we are sold out for the Barcelona accelerator. So the
already.
Yeah.
Already. Wow.
Yeah. So it seems like people it's quite eager to get back into on-site accelerators. So we do have all the registration taken care of, but we still have space for the virtual components, as we're going to be running this one in a hybrid mode, focusing on the Americas time zone this time. So if you guys are in the Americas time zone and would like to join, we still have space for that one as well. So yeah, so here are the links to register. One of the benefits of the on-site in Barcelona, it's aside from spending time with the developer advocates team, is that during that same week, we're going to have Forge Data Days in Barcelona. So basically, it's an opportunity to get to know what's new with Forge, specifically with with data exchange service, model properties, and so on. And if you are in the US, we still have spots available for the Forge data in the US. So a city, no, I don't know if it's near you or not, but we have Detroit, Boston, Denver, and San Francisco. So good opportunity for you to join over there as well.
Yeah. So I think Jaime will be in 3
All
of those
them, I
cities,
think.
including San Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. See you
Yeah.
here then.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been
I
a
didn't
while,
know.
right?
So I didn't. Yeah. So I didn't need to come to Boston. All right.
Yeah, I'm thinking how long have we haven't seen each other, Jaime?
It's at least last AU that we saw on site, so that was 2019.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
2.5
for you,
years.
right? Same for you, Michael, right? I'm trying to remember. Have we seen each other after?
No, I mean I've caught up with Jaime at. We were
Yeah.
during that little break in Omicron. Before Omicron, we were in AWS, the Amazon conference. Speaking.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I got Omicron right after that, so yeah.
Wow, looking forward to it. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so data days are coming to the US, also Europe. Will be fun. We already kicked off in Munich yesterday, so tomorrow is Sweden.
Yeah,
So-
Augusta, maybe you can show some screenshots from the event.
Yeah, I can. Right? Where?
In the Slack channel or on Twitter. One
Yeah,
of the two.
the data days.
Twitter, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Jim. And who else is here? That's Cyril. Cool.
We can
Oh, look at
also talk-
Adam or Peter's
Yeah.
tweet. He's got some great photos.
Yeah, I think Adam was tweeting. He also misses going back on site.
Adam,
I think
is
it's
his handle?
like, no.
No, what is his
I think
handle?
it's,
Something like this, right?
Adam
Yeah.
the Nagy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Oh, that's better. Yeah. Kian. Oh my God. Haven't seen these people in a long time.
I know, right? And then we also have a new intern with the team, right?
Yeah, Hi, Elliot is here as well. Welcome to the
everyone.
team.
Yeah, I'm new summer intern on the Forge Dev Tech team, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, cool.
So it's been a great
Welcome. And
Yeah,
he's
welcome,
now,
man.
yeah, he'll be working on some cool projects. Hopefully, on the next or after that coffee break, he'll be showing us some of the cool things that he's working on. Welcome. Enjoy it will be very fun summer with us. Hopefully. Oh yeah, I got the message from. Oh.
Where are you based, Elliot?
I'm just north of San Francisco, so yeah,
Oh,
very
okay.
close
Nice.
to the SF office.
That's cool. We're going to see you tomorrow, I believe, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice. So I guess I'll get to meet you when I have to make my way down to San Francisco as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely was going to be there on June 30th for the accelerator.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I saw Bowen send the box selection disable PNG.
Yeah, so I'm looking here. So there is a very strict, specific comment about that. Disabling is the safest way to avoid that behavior. So probably have to check with the team if that's still a regression problem that they need to address. Maybe it was already addressed and they have to just update that on the model coordination viewer.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's very explicit, right? They explicitly disable that because of some behavior. So yeah, we have to find out what is happening here. Probably there is some internal documentation on why this happened. So
Sure.
you have to check with them.
Is there, and I don't mean to be hacky, but is there a way to re-enable that? The only thing I could find was that you'd have to reconstruct the viewer configurations, but if the viewer is already opened, that seems kind of chicken and eggy, if that makes sense. Like how?
Yeah, yeah, that we may try that, but if there is a strong reason for that, they disable that specific extension, something else will break, right? So you're just
Sure.
pushing the problem further. So
If you want to, yeah, if you want to try it, I mean, the resource redirect trick is the way to go. So,
Okay.
like when you load bin 360 model coordination, it's gonna load the viewer 3d.min.js file, and you'll use the resource redirect plugin, which you can install from the Chrome Web Store, and you'll tell it to look for that file, and then you'll tell it to redirect to, say, a local host version of the same file, and probably use don't use the .min version, use the .js version, so it's not obfuscated, minified, and then you can go crazy. You can uncomment that line, and that'll load the box selection tool. You can also do a resource redirect on the actual box selection tool and try to fix it if you want.
yeah,
That's how we do it. So you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll probably just hang tight. I'm still trying to figure out JavaScript, so give me a couple more months. We'll see how it goes.
No problem.
Yeah. So what we'll do is send that message. So I know that Xiaodong was checking with that team. I'll include that specific line that you sent us, and let's see why this is happening. Probably there's some reason for that, and we just have to check if that reason is still a problem or not. So,
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, sorry it took longer than. All right, cool. Any other topics or questions?
Augusto, do you know if data days or any of the events are being broadcast live or recorded?
I don't know.
The one in Munich, I believe they're recording it for plans to post it later after the series is done.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Okay, any other questions? I have a question for you. Is anyone here using the, so when you load the viewer, right, you can, well, we have some blogs and samples showing how to read the property database of a model, right, that you load the viewer and you get the SQLite that comes with the viewer, and then you use that data to extract and read information. Is anyone here using that property DB to do any kind of analysis of drawing, extract information?
We're actually using that database, but not with the viewer. We basically download this SQLite database and push it to do some ETLs and push it into our SQL servers, and then we do some analysis on the data then, because we're looking at project by project, but also comparing different projects. So we're downloading. These are SDBs, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're downloading those from specific projects, specific disciplines, and then pushing them into our own servers and doing some ETL work. It's not really my area, but I just, you asked, so.
Yeah, okay, that's important. And
it's sitting over there, yeah.
Okay, so Jonathan, would you mind send me an email with some description of what you're doing? I'll type in my email in the chat window. And I also see that Edgar is also doing that. What are you doing with the SQLite, Edgar? If you open your mic, can you open your microphone? Maybe.
Yeah, my line is very poor at the moment, Augusto. But basically, ever since I joined, what I'm trying to do is have a properties library of objects and
Mhm.
sort of check the model if these properties are there. So my first attempt before you guys had that the properties API released is to download to Excel, but I feel it misses a lot of information. A lot of the richness that you have in the viewer isn't there. I feel I have a lot more information of an object if I stay within the viewer than do a push to SQLite or the SQL server. And like I typed in the chat, the tutorial is great. Nothing wrong with that. It's just once I have it, it's not what I want to have.
Okay. So the reason I'm asking is that we are starting investigating how can we make that easier for people to use, right? So downloading that SQLite is not that easy, and to manipulate is not that easy either, right? So we're looking into how can we make that easier for developers. So you, Edgar, and you, Jonathan, if you can send me a quick email, just explain what you're doing, and if you are open to have some further discussions on that, we can book some time to discuss what exactly we're doing, so we would like to understand better. So let me type in my email here, and yeah, so that would be extremely helpful.
Got it.
And what we're looking is just to understand what you're doing and why you are using that SQLite, and so we can
what's the use
explore
case
more.
in that
Yes.
sense?
Thank you.
Really
anyone
quickly,
else?
Augusto, that on the SQLite thing, just in case no one's in case you're not aware as well, the sort of the SQLite version of the data has a data explosion problem. So if you, for example, have a Revit family or a property set, and it's duplicated in, let's say, a nail or a screw inside a skyscraper, and there's like a million of those little elements, then it will replicate in SQLite a million times, and so you get these data explosions inside SQLite. So where the properties JSON files delivered to the Forge viewer will be maybe 200 kilobytes, whereas the SQLite file you download will be in the gigabytes, will be like 4 or 5 gigabytes. So just as a I'm not sure where you're going with your question there, Augusto, but
No, for now.
We're trying to avoid SQLite for that reason.
Yeah, I know, and I think what we are aiming next is how to do better there, right? So how to address that problem that you were just describing, Michael. And in many cases, we don't want the whole thing, right? We just want a subset. So so it's just that the internal team is looking for information on what people are doing with the SQLite. So yeah, let's forward that to the internal teams, and we can definitely review that with you as well. Thank you. All right, that's interesting. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Edgar. Any other topics? Maybe today is one of the quick coffee breaks.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What else can we chat about?
Just that people are quiet today. So yeah.
I do have one more question. I'm sorry if it's just one of those awkward filling the silence things, but one of the things I've always wondered about is there's the BIM 360 app for model navigation, and it kind of leaves something to be desired sometimes. Have people launched their own independent non-internet needing viewers on like an iPad to like walk around and stuff like that with success? Do you guys know of anyone that's done that?
I don't know.
Like in an offline mode?
You're basically talking about offline.
Yeah.
Yeah, many customers have done that. There is an AU talk from 2018, I believe I did with Honeywell and Michael Ponti. You can Google that, Autodesk University, and basically disconnected workflows or offline workflows, as it's called. And that basically shows you how to download the assets to an iPad device or to a your own proxy server
Sure.
for performance reasons or for offline reasons. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bowen. Thank you, Michael. Okay.
And the link too. I'll post it on the.
Yes. Thank you. That's the article by Peter Bros, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we share again, and yes, Michael.
I was actually going to say, could you link to the Autodesk University blog article? It's a little bit more detailed.
Yeah, I'll probably have to find that.
It covers the history of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You mean the class by Petra for AU?
Oh, somebody just did.
I know the class I did.
Okay, you did. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that here.
Bowen just put it up there.
Thank you. Cool, thanks. Okay, so the next coffee break, same link, same time, in 2 weeks, June 15. Thank you very much for joining today. Have a great week, have a great day, and see you in 2 weeks. Thank you for joining.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thanks. See ya.